Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So by the title, you can already guess that we will be discussing the fourth trimester, the silent fourth trimester that no one speaks of, that every mother goes through. So let's just hop right into it. So of course, everybody watching this by now, you already know that I am a new-time mother. I gave birth to my beautiful baby boy on September 11th, 2019. And so that is when my fourth trimester started. So I've written down things that I experienced during my fourth trimester that I think a lot of mothers can relate to. And even if you're not a mother, if you plan on becoming a mother soon or sometime in the future, you could watch this and kind of see what you're getting yourself into. The fourth trimester seems to be taboo or something. Like, nobody ever wants to talk about it, but I'm sure a lot of these things I'm going to mention, a lot of us mothers can relate to. So let me just go ahead and start into my, they're not tips, what would you call these? Struggles? Struggles. My 5 struggles. Okay. Struggle number 1, which I could talk about all day, is the breastfeeding struggle. For 9 months, he's been eating through his umbilical cord. And now that he's born, he has to learn how to eat in a different way. And I have to learn how to feed him in that way. So we're both learning together. And that whole process can be frustrating for both you and your baby. For me, getting him to latch wasn't a problem. The latching itself was just, God, it was so painful. My nipples, TMI, but they hurt so bad. Bumping into things hurt, putting shirts on hurt, putting bras on hurt, breastfeeding hurt, everything hurt. It wasn't so much pain. I dreaded breastfeeding, and we had like a little moment where he didn't even want to latch. Probably because I was so uncomfortable, I made him uncomfortable, and it wasn't a good situation for either one of us. But thankfully, we're over that hump and everything's fine. When you breastfeed, you don't know exactly how much you're producing, and you're new to breastfeeding, so him latching helps you produce more and more. So in the beginning, you might not be producing as much as what he needs. For me, I wasn't. So we supplemented with formula. I really wanted to breastfeed. I wanted him to get the benefits of breastfeeding. So I would breastfeed, and then we would give him formula after to make sure he's getting the nutrients from breast milk, but he's also getting enough to eat. I had to rely on pumping sometimes, especially when it just hurt too much to breastfeed him directly. And the beneficial thing about that was I was able to see how much I was producing. I mainly used it to help relieve myself when I just needed a break and I needed to heal so that I could go back to trying to breastfeed him again. I had to remind myself, you know, I am new to this. I am not true to this. And I had to be okay with that. The third struggle is basically your mental state. It's overwhelming. You've never been a parent before. And even if you have, I mean, they tell you every experience is different. So just giving birth to a new baby, it is overwhelming. Your body isn't the same, especially if this is your first child. For me, I've always been a petite girl, so I kind of had to remind myself, and my husband had to help remind me that I just gave birth to a baby. Your body isn't going to bounce back exactly to how it was before you had a baby. Even though you'll see on social media and on TV all of this bounce back this and bounce back that. Like, moms, please do not feel pressured into bouncing back. And don't feel pressured into trying to fit into the person you were before you became a mother. it is okay to be different. It is okay to take your time to get your body to where you're comfortable with it being. I actually embrace the extra weight. It's just for me, where the weight is something I'm struggling with. I've always had a flat stomach. I feel like I came out of the womb with a 10-pack set of abs, and so that's a struggle for me. But I'm only almost 4 months postpartum. It took me 9 months to get to that point, so I need to give myself at least 9 months to get back. I feel like that's only fair. And I have to get all that extra noise out of my head about how a mother should be after she gives birth, and she needs to be snatched like this in 2 weeks. Like, that's not fair. And we are more than our bodies. Trying to get into my new normal and come into terms with, I'm not the same person. And that's okay. I've had a life-changing experience. I shouldn't be the same person I was before I had a child. My fourth struggle is scheduling. Because, especially for newborns, you're breastfeeding or you're feeding your baby every 2 hours. That is inadvertently putting your baby on a schedule of when he's sleeping, when he's getting up, how he's sleeping through the night. I know I had a lot of advice about how I should put my baby on a schedule and how I shouldn't cater to his every need. To me, a newborn baby is crying for a reason. I don't think, and this is just me personally, I'm not saying this to force this opinion on anyone else, but to me, a newborn baby is crying for a reason. And to me, it just doesn't sound right to let him cry and cry and cry so I can put him on a schedule that's beneficial to me. Thankfully, I had the luxury of having a decent amount of maternity leave, so I could deal with, him making his own schedule and then us finding our rhythm together. So now every day I kind of know his schedule. He's on a schedule that he put himself on, and it works for me right now. And I've had a lot of outside advice about how some people don't agree with that and how, I'm the parent and I run this. But I think every new parent knows, as much as you want to think that, the baby's in charge. He does what he wants. He's hungry when he's hungry. He's tired when he's tired. Just go with the flow. And for me, that made my household way less stressful. Just remember, once again, you're the baby's parent. Whatever you and your partner think is best for your household is what you should do. For me and my husband, letting him come up with his own schedule and catering to how he naturally forms into a schedule was better for us, and it made us way less stressed. It helped us get sleep so we weren't at each other's throats, and that's just how we worked it. Never feel pressure to do something that someone else thinks is the proper way of doing things. What works for one parent, it's not going to work for another, and vice versa. What works for you might not work for another parent. So whatever works for your household, go with that. And my last struggle that I feel like is the most relatable to every new parent, male or female, is finding your own voice as it pertains to your child. You will get so much advice, solicited, unsolicited, positive, negative. Most people, they mean well when they give you advice. Having a baby is an exciting time, not only for you guys, but everybody around you, and even people who aren't necessarily close to you, like just people, acquaintances, co-workers. Like, having a baby is always an exciting time. And through that, you can kind of lose your own voice on accident, especially when it comes to like your parents or your grandparents or people that you really, really value their opinions and who've, raised kids and done things before. They'll have very valuable advice for you. But like I said, what works for one parent might not work for another. So just keep in mind, you can take the advice, or you also have the choice not to take it. You don't have to take advice that's given to you. It's great to have a support system. It's great to have people who have done it before so they can teach you the ropes, but you also have to help remind the people close to you that you also want to learn how to become your own parent. You don't want to become dependent on the people around you. You want to feel comfortable in yourself, and you want to feel confident in yourself that, you know, when you are by yourself, that you can handle it also. And like I said, it doesn't hurt to have people there to go to if you have questions, but also remember, if you think something is better for your child, go with that. At the end of the day, it's your kid, and you have to find out what kind of parent you want to be to your child, what kind of parent you think is going to be beneficial to raising a whole human being in society today. There isn't a playbook, or there isn't a how-to or parenting for dummies that you can turn to tell you how to be the perfect parent. You don't have that. So you have to rely on your instincts, and you can also pull from people around you, but ultimately the decision is yours. Remember that you have a voice in your child's life, and try not to get overwhelmed with all the other noise around you having a child. Everybody's excited, but don't lose yourself in that excitement. So yeah, those were all my struggles. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about fourth trimester, or if you have any video topic, please leave that in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, guys, bye.